all the streets, all the Barrow, Grove, Christopher, Waverly, 7th Avenue, Christopher, you can go down any block, and meet community, Back in those days, you could walk down the block and stop 50 times to say hello to somebody, to give them a hug, And today it's like people walk by and, it's like they don't want to say nothing, It's like, it's changed. It's definitely changed to me. I don't know. I don't live in this neighborhood. But to me, it's changed. There's no more friendliness. There's no more like, hey, we're family.
In 1969, what happened in 1969? The myth is that Judy Garland was uptown, and it was her viewing uptown, and everyone was depressed. Judy Garland is like the Madonna or the Lady Gaga of today. She was a major icon in the gay community. And the myth is that they were depressed, and the cops came in to arrest, and they fought back for the first time. They fought back for the right to love, the right to be who they want to be. The reason why there isn't many pictures of the riots and a lot about it is because no one wanted to be outed. Because in that time, you could lose your friends, you could lose your family, you could lose your job, and you might even lose your life for being homosexual. A whole different time, where the younger generation, our generation of today, they don't really realize that. What those people did to fight back for their right to love and to be who they want to be.
Well, they locked themselves into the bar, and people started going crazy. I mean, they started throwing pennies, because they were coppers, they were called. But it got out of hand. Everybody had a long list in their minds of people that were arrested by the police or beaten by the police or notified their parents that the police had notified. So everybody had a casualty list in our head that we didn't talk about, but it was there. And the hatred against us it was too much to bear. I guess everybody at the same time had, this is enough. I mean, they come in the middle of Greenwich Village to raid a bar that we really, really liked, because it was a dancing bar, the only dancing bar we had. It was like being raped. It was just too much. And people reacted that way. And the whole thing that we knew to do was to keep the riot going. Somehow, there was a sense that was important.
Some of the days were really quiet. Some of them were a lot more violent.
And we could sense that they were determined to stop it. But we knew the area the way the Mohawks and Indians knew their forests. The police did not know it the way we did it. So we were able to keep the riot going by causing the police to go down one block, and we could turn and come behind them. They were really sharp. It became a game, semi-deadly, but nonetheless, one that we knew we were winning, or at least we had a chance. And this was the first time since Thebes had defeated Sparta that a group of gay men together, a band of brothers, had fought. And all that power, it was there. And all that common sense of democratic leadership and democratic participation was there. I mean, the straight people were brought out of the riot because it wasn't against them, it was against the police. There was a lot of common sense in the riot, more than any I've seen. Not the first riot I'd seen in New York, but the first riot I'd been in. And I didn't know if it was a success or not, but it's led to what we have today. My crowd was a very low crowd. We used to call scare drags. We never in full drag, like Boy George. And some of those were very poor. They couldn't even get that far for a complete coordinated outfit. But they were very, very militant about, not about anything, but about their space. They had to come from very bad neighborhoods. They came from the projects sometimes. They had to fight all their lives. They weren't to be messed around with. And they were very poor. And the most interesting one I can remember was Miss New Orleans. She was from New Orleans, and she was very, very poor. And she wasn't very good looking. But during the riot, there was a fire in her. She was on the ledge of the Stonewall, and I have not seen that kind of fierce face, except in lithographs of John Brown. And she was the one that jumped down from the windowsill, grabbed the Metro box, wrenched it out practically single-handed and started smashing the door of Stonewall. You could see in her eyes, she was a leader. Because the crowd wasn't really that large, that we couldn't see and gain from the person in front of you. And Miss New Orleans was one of the heroes. I had never seen her like that. I'd never seen her again like that, but I saw her that night. It was incredible.